Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and this is a tutorial on how to make a homemade egg incubator. And you can see I have my incubator running. I made it just out of a styrofoam cooler, and I have Larry, Mo, and Shemp and Curly in there, and waiting to be hatched. So this is the incubator. Not hard to make. There's a few rules of thumb, and I'll explain everything to you, what you need, what temperatures you need to keep it at, and what humidity and whatnot, and how to do all of this. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can be really flexible. So let me launch into the tutorial of parts and how to make it. I have all the materials here you need, and let me go over a couple of important things. The whole point behind the egg incubator is to maintain two specific things. One is the temperature inside, and the other is the humidity. So that's all you want to do, is you want to create some kind of a box that keeps the temperature and the humidity stable within a particular range that's proper for the eggs to hatch. You want to keep the temperature between 97 and about 101 degrees. You don't want it to go over 101 degrees. And you want to keep the humidity approximately 55 to 70% humidity. So that's what we're shooting for, and we can do that with just a simple, styrofoam cooler. You can use a plastic cooler. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, but you keep that concept in mind, to keep the temperature and the humidity within those ranges, and you'll be good. You almost can't go wrong. So let me go over how I'm going to do this. And this is, a lot of people have done it this way. This works pretty well. I have some duct tape, some light bulbs, a temperature and humidity monitor, a digital one. Here's a lamp that I use, and you can use almost any kind of a lamp. A bowl and a sponge for water. Some chicken wire. I like this chicken wire. It's got the 1/4" squares. This is nice. And a picture with a glass or plastic front on it. And of course my chicken eggs. So you can improvise a lot of this stuff and go at it a lot of different ways, and you'll see as I build it what I mean. Now, light bulb selection can be a little bit tricky. I tried a bunch of different light bulbs, and you'll probably have to try some different light bulbs on your own. 25-watt light bulb works good for me. It gave me good results. So you might want to try a 25-watt. Now, the digital thermometer and humidity gauge, I bought two of them. The first one I bought, I looked at it, it had a plus or minus 2 degrees. So that's quite a bit of range there. So I decided I'm not going to use that one. I wanted to get a little bit more accurate than 2 degrees. So that might be something you want to look at. Try to get something, a digital thermometer that's as accurate as possible. I took the glass out of an old picture frame, and I cut out the top of the styrofoam container. And then I just tape the glass to it. Now that's our observation hole. Now we can look in and monitor the chicks and watch them. So next what I've done here is, and you could actually do this project without any chicken wire, but there's a couple of nice things about the chicken wire that I like. See that? Now I have this little setup here. The base here, I'll put the eggs in the water on this. And the reason for this is that once the chicks hatch, they'll have a lot of excrement, and that'll be able to fall down through. It'll make it much easier to keep this clean. And this part here is to protect the light bulb. So once that light bulb is inside there, it's kind of cordoned off in this area. Stay away from the chickens, and it's much safer. That's about the biggest thing that you have to consider. Is you want to make sure this light bulb is in place nicely so it doesn't touch the sides or the foam or anything, because you want to absolutely at all costs avoid the risk of fire. Okay, so you cut a hole in the end of your cooler like this. Put the bulb through it in the socket. Tape it all up really well, and then put your screen and put your chicken wire in. Now, you want to tape this up really good. You want no leaks, you want no holes. Because what we're going to do is we're going to secure this as well as we can, seal it up, monitor the temperature. If the temperature goes too high, what you do then is you punch small holes in this to relieve the temperature and bring it down. And so you can monitor and adjust the temperature that way by poking holes. If you put too many, tape them up until you get the temperature about right. And with the humidity, you adjust the humidity by adding or subtracting water. You can even take the sponge out if need be, or just put the sponge in it. So you tinker with it before you actually put your chicken eggs in there. Okay, put your thermometer in there and your water dish with some water and your sponge, and then we'll seal this up and run it to see how the temperature goes. The eggs will be over here. Keep the eggs away from the bulb, near your thermometer. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to put the eggs right here, but not now. Right now I'm going to test this to get the temperature right. Now about eggs, you got to get them from a farm. You can't use store-bought eggs, and you have to try to get eggs that are fertilized. There's no real way to know that, but if you talk to the person that's raising the chickens, tell them you'd like fertilized eggs, and they'll, there's a good chance that they will be fertilized. But not all of them will hatch. And you don't have to get them and do them the same day. If you need a day or two, it's okay. You just keep them room temperature at a reasonable moisture, and they should be okay for up to as long as a week or 10 days, and then you can do your incubator. So don't panic if you can't get the eggs into your incubator right away. It can be a few days while you make your incubator and you test it. So now what I've done here is I've run the duct tape in the back so it acts as a hinge. And I'm going to give that a try to see how that works. That would be good. Okay, we're taking a look inside there, and everything looks good. Got the humidity between 55 and 70, and the temperature is between 98 and 101, and it's 99. So something like this, you take your time and you tweak it as you need to. Tape it up a little tighter if the temp needs to go up. Punch a couple of holes in it if the temp needs to go down. Add or remove water as the humidity changes. So now I'm going to put the eggs in there, and a couple of rules about the eggs. For the first 18 days you need to rotate them a quarter to a half a turn 3 times a day. So, and for the last 3 to 4 days don't rotate them at all. As far as the humidity goes, 55 to 70 is great. On the low end of that is fine, but for those last 3 to 4 days try to get the humidity up to around 65 to 70. It's important for the shells, for the hatching of the chicks. The humidity does soak through those shells, so it will help them. That high humidity will help them hatch easier. So there we go. The incubator's done and it's running, and Larry, Mo, Shemp, and Curly are in place, and we'll see who hatches first. I will post another video when they start to hatch, and I'll keep you updated on the progress here. So in about 21 days. Lots more fun stuff on my website. All kinds of things, blacksmithing, bees, honey, beehives, you name it, at stormthecastle.com.